Victor versus Marlyn looks like it's going to be a really fun matchup, mostly because it's basically just like another Guardian Mirror, and I love playing the Guardian Mirror. The thing that makes Marlyn a little scary is that she does get some pretty cool arrows that have on-hit effects. Now, she gets to use something like King Shark Harpoon and something like Red Fin Harpoon to be able to like try and take some of our power cards out of our hand, generate gold, and continue to set up her game plan. So the fact that she's able to disrupt our hand can be pretty important. And then the other thing is that if you read the text box on these cards, they're really like not that bad. Like they're really not that bad for us. But when you pair them with the Hammerhead Cannon, whatever it's called, it gives them +4 in overpower, meaning that they're a lot harder to block, especially since I'm not playing any defense reactions in my Victor list. So being able to go over the top and take cards out of my hand while generating gold can be a very, very powerful thing for Marlyn. The other card that really scares me is 3 of a Kind. I know that like Marlyn doesn't really have the ability to use 3 of a Kind with like Rain Razors and like, you know, all the other crazy powerful stuff that Lexi was doing, but she's still able to use this to like to be able to block with 3 cards, play a 3 of a Kind from Arsenal off of Tunic or with like 1 card in hand, and then still be able to throw an arrow at us or a harpoon while trying to take cards out of our hand and potentially even activate the cannon if she drew enough blues. So it can be pretty tough. But as Victor, we get some cards that can kind of help us combat this. The first card that I'm going to talk about is Chokeslam. I love Chokeslam. It really helps us combat like the whole gaining power. It's really good into every Ranger class. Chokeslam has a lot of really good matchups right now, and Marlyn's no exception to that. The other card that really helps us in this matchup is kind of just a Guardian staple in Spinal Crush. Spinal Crush is just great at denying them go again, forcing cards out of their hand, and this is really how we get into that mid-rangey battle where we're just like kind of blocking with 2 cards and throwing haymakers back and forth. But the other thing that's cool is that Marlyn gets overpower, which means our block cards like Trounce and Test of Strength get a lot of value in this matchup because there are times when we can even cover up the overpower arrows just by having these block cards. And it's so nice because it's not like a deck building repercussion. We're just getting a ton of value out of having these cards in our deck. And hopefully that should put us in a good spot against Marlyn. Thanks for stopping by, guys. I hope you enjoy the match. All right, we're playing against Marlyn and we are going first. I mean, pretty good opening hand here. We just have the ability to play the Goldmane estate here, just setting up mites for next turn and hopefully doing something pretty cool. I like the idea of just throwing the blue Chokeslam. It's good enough to get some cards out of their hand, but it's not going to be like this super impactful card because they're just going to block. Like they're probably just going to block 2 cards, take nothing, and then just roll into their turn. But if my opponent only blocks 3 because they really like their hand, oh. Okay, take cover is fine. That makes sense. Them getting to reload on turn 0 is also really impactful because it lets them use their cross wrap to start the game. So this is actually a really good start for both me and my opponent. Rolling right into Command and Conquer Pummel. Like, this is just insane. The Yellowfin Harpoon is super mediocre. There is no disruption here. This card doesn't matter. So I'm a pretty big fan of them throwing it at us. If they do attack us with the Yellowfin Harpoon, we'll just block with the Thunderquake. I'm perfectly okay with that. They'll probably activate the hook and then overpower this. So this is going to be for 12 more than likely. Depends on how many blues their hand is in total, but coming in for 12 is pretty good. 12 still one of our golds to make something else much worse later down the road is a very valuable play against Victor. The gold baited hook is pretty scary to me. I don't really see a reason to play 3 of a Kind there. Maybe they didn't have the blues. I just would have assumed they would have rather have set up the 3 of a Kind in their arsenal. Not activating the gold baited hook is a mistake. They should have done that. This is going to be a very good turn cycle for us, though, as we're just going to give them a gold. They make a gold off the big game trophy shot. And now from here, we're at 31, but we're going to get to throw Command and Conquer Pummel for 13 right back at them, which is a pretty solid place to be. I really like being in this spot. All right, so we'll just throw the Command and Conquer here and just kind of stare at him, because Command and Conquer for 9 is pretty good. If they block with 3 cards here and we get to pummel them, it is like absolutely insane blowout turn for us. I would love nothing more for them to block 9 here and just let us roll right through their hand and arsenal. But they could make the play of blocking 12 and then with hook to block 13. Just play around it and take the turn off. I mean, if they're not willing to do anything on their turn cycle, I think it's a win for us as well. Interesting. I am going to pummel this. I'm curious to know why they blocked with anything, really. Like, I think this is fine. Either way, we get a King Shark Harpoon out of their hand and a King Kraken Harpoon out of their arsenal. And now they have 2 cards in their hand. So we've pushed damage and tried to do a good job of just like putting them off the back foot a little bit here. I mean, this is pretty good. The big game trophy shot does allow them to get pretty aggressive here. Although admittedly, we get to have a pretty good hand here because depending on what they do, we're going to block with at least Clash of Might and then try to throw Chokeslam for 9. Or maybe throw Command and Conquer for 7. I don't know. We'll see what happens. It is coming up here, so... this is 6 on hit, they get a gold, right? Because that's what this does. When it hits, create a gold token. I mean, keeping them off of gold would be good, but I really don't want to give up my arsenal, so I think we'll just take 3. I don't think there's a serious reason to like be giving up equipment and start doing this whole thing here. Seems kind of silly. I am going to use Tunic to throw the Chokeslam since they don't have an arsenal. There was a like mental debate in my head. Are we supposed to throw Command and Conquer and bluff the Pummel here? Like, what's our line supposed to be? But I think that just, again, taking 2 cards out of their hand, setting up a Command and Conquer and arsenal is a pretty good play. It feels pretty crisp here. A pretty good hand. Pretty good hand. Especially considering they just passed. So we're going to pitch this to draw a Goldmane estate, and then it's going to be 5 go again into Command and Conquer. This is a great turn cycle for us. It lines up super well. And now we're in a cool situation where we have Goldmane estate for next turn. They're probably going to block with 2 cards. We can't pummel from here. We don't have Tunic up, so they're not worried about us like hitting them with the pummel. But this is a pretty cool turn cycle for us. Command and Conquer, 2 out of the last 3 turn cycles. So we went CNC Pummel, Chokeslam for 9 into Command and Conquer after a go again attack. Feels pretty good to me. Do they have any yellow cards? Yeah, they have a couple yellow cards. I don't think we have any, but they have a couple of yellow cards they can utilize Sunken Treasure with. Hopefully we can try to deny them the Loan Shark value this turn. Drawing into a Trounce feels like a pretty good place to start. Now's a good time for them to activate the gold-baited hook, right? Because the golden tipple, like, they're going to make a gold pretty much no matter what. Yep. Activate that, activate the gold-baited hook, and then throw the golden tipple. You might as well. Because you're going to generate a gold this turn, which means you're keeping Loan Shark, and you're doing the whole thing here. Let's see if they Marlyn anything in. They don't Marlyn anything in. I mean, I could draw a card and do something else that way, but I think just blocking with the Trounce is fine. Hopefully we can win this clash. Ooh, this is tough. Oh, man. I mean, I guess we can hope that they hit a non-attack. Yeah, I think that was our best choice. That's a big Sag. That's a big Sag right there. Ooh, gold the tip. Wow, okay. Into Codex? Man, pretty good turn cycle here. They're probably going to get King Shark Harpoon. Man. We would be letting them steal one of our gold, so we'd go to 1. And we'd be forced to discard the Chokeslam here. Because we get to pick, they haven't activated the cannon. We also have the option of... Yeah, they're all attacks, right? We could block 3, 6, 8, 10, and then play Goldmane Estate and throw the hammer. It's not a bad play. We get to keep both of our golds, and we just don't get to throw any disruption. Because we know there's a blue on top we're getting ready to draw into. Actually, we're better off to do this, right? because no, they'll win the might, so that's not correct. We're supposed to block like this, I think, and then we're going to play Goldmane Estate. Yeah, I think this is a better play. We get to keep our gold this way. Unfortunately, there was, like, we would have had to have taken a lot of that damage to really make any of that happen. So we're going to make 4 might tokens, and then we're just going to go ahead and throw the hammer. So this will be for 7. And if they're willing to take 7 here, like, we are up 6 points already. So if they take 7, it's a pretty good, like, swing through for us here. I think one thing we should also be considering is Tunic better in this matchup, or are we better off looking at having tech plating in this matchup to be able to block more efficiently? Tech plating, just blocking efficiently, could be really good for us, but the value that Tunic gives us off of like Chokeslam, off of like Pummel is really good. So I don't know. There's a lot to kind of consider when it comes to that. Right now, the way I have my sideboard guide set up is I'm running Tunic in this matchup, but that could change. Who knows? So they're just going to block with Sunken Treasure. They're going to have to turn one of their cards face down. We don't have a yellow, so they do make a gold, though, and then they take 4 down to 18, and we have 4 mites set up for the following turn. Okay, Chokeslam looks pretty good. How do we feel about just pitching this to Flexors? I mean, I think we're supposed to. Like, we can just get value out of pitching this to Flexors, and then we can block whatever else they throw at us with Flexors and Test of Strength. Now, if they throw, like, a big disruption piece at us, it could be awkward, but... Okay, +4. Draw a card and discard a card. Big Game Trophy Shot is so good. It's such a good card. The fact that it's a 3-block is also insane. It's like one of the few pumps that actually has like a 3-block on it, but it does cost 2, so I mean, it kind of like evens out. They discard a Conqueror of the High Seas. Load in the Harpoon. I mean, honestly, I'm super content with this being what they're doing this turn, because it means they're going to come at us for 10. They're going to make a gold, activate the hook. You might as well steal one of my gold. I mean, I guess technically I could have blocked it out if I wanted to, but I was never going to. Test of Strength into something good. Okay, sure. Works for me. And then we're going to throw the Flexors up there. So we end up taking 4 down to 24. Our opponent gets a gold. They've been able to keep the Loan Shark around for quite a while now. I'm debating if we should crack a gold to try and find a card to Arsenal here, or if I should just throw this for 12. I think just throwing this for 12 is fine. There's not really a reason to crack a gold here. There is technically one more Visit Goldmane Estate in our deck. Oh, no, there's not. The first one was on turn 0. Yep. So our opponent blocks 6, plays Take Cover. They're going to Arsenal their last card. So they take 2. We're up 8 points, and then they're probably not going to have a turn. Okay. Is this going to be like Tunic into Golden Tipple? Would be a really cool turn cycle if that was what they did. If they went Tunic, Golden Tipple to discard this, that would be really cool. Okay. So it's going to be Zealous Belting for 5 go again, which probably doesn't get blocked. This is just damage, and they're at a pretty healthy 16, so I don't really think my opponent cares. Them using the gold to make a Harpoon last turn, I'm a little skeptical of. Here. Destroy this and then lose 2 life unless you discard a card. So... Oh, they discarded that to not lose any life. Oh, okay, nice. So that was why they did that. That was a cool play then. So we can just use Tunic to throw the Erase Face. I don't think this is that good. Actually, yeah, because it stops their weapon from giving an arrow +4. So Erase Face actually has pretty good game into the Marlynn matchup. Huh, interesting. I don't know if arsenaling the Rouse the Ancients is the correct play, but we have quite a few clashes in our deck left, and like we could really like draw into a very good go again hand here if we hit the like right set of draws here. Just depends on what we draw and what we hit here. Our opponent having a little bit of a think about how they want to play this one out. Looks like they're just kind of pausing for a moment here to make sure that they're working through things. Yep, they decide to take 6. I mean, I guess they could have another take cover. Yeah, that's the last one, I'm pretty sure. All right, so they do end up taking the erase face effect. And I'm hoping we don't get hit with too much disruption and we can lean into this for next turn. I mean, we can crack a gold to draw some cards, which is pretty good. 4, go again. I'm just going to show them I'm going to take 4 and show them the Riches of Trōpal-Dhani. I think I'm just okay with this. That way, like, there's no information exchanged here. Like, I think I'm perfectly okay with this. Use Tunic for Golden Tipple. Oh, 3 of a kind. I guess the floor of this turn is that they can load the harpoon here. Ooh, that's pretty good. We actually don't have a non-attack action card, so I don't care about this. Plus, this is just 6 overpower. Like, they don't get to +4 here. Ooh, they do get to +4 here. This says your next arrow attack. I thought Erase Face got around that. Lose all class and talent types? Yeah, I don't think this is correct. I mean, either way, it's not that big of a deal. Yeah, this is non-attack, so we're just going to take 10. Like, this is fine. I don't know. If you're a judge and you watch, if this game makes it to YouTube and you watch this, please let me know. Like, does that work that way? Because I'm pretty sure that's 4 life I'm supposed to save. Right there off the erase face effect, but you guys would know better than me, so please let me know. So we get to show Chokeslam and Disable here. I mean, I guess I could have just shown double Disable, but I don't really want to arsenal the Chokeslam. So I think going 7 into 9 is gonna put us in a good enough spot. I don't think it's gonna end the game per se, but I think drawing the Spinal Crush was really what we needed to see there. They take 4, and then Spinal Crush looking pretty good. Yep, get 2 cards out of the hand, and if they don't do anything else, they take 3, and they fall down to 5, which means we're really 1 or 2 Golden Suns away from ending the game, which it's turn 8, and we haven't seen one yet. I don't think we've even pitched one, so I think we're in an okay spot. We're going to go like this. I'm not going to arsenal this because this is just kind of weird. Yo. This hand is really bad. We might start cracking golds. Yeah, well, if they're going to do something like that, maybe we don't crack golds. Maybe we do, though. I don't know. This is a tough decision. We're just going to block like this. I don't really want to get got by anything here. I'm going to pitch Disable to crack a gold. We hit a blue, we can throw the Debilitate. I mean, this is not enough to force cards out of their hand is what scares me. But I don't really know where we're going to get if we just keep cracking cards. Like Golden Sun would be good. Drawing into Trounce is honestly exactly what I was scared of. Alright, so here we can throw Hammer for 4, arsenal the Zealous Belting, and keep the Trounce in our hand. And with the cards we've seen, it's actually a pretty decent shot we just have another Clash card in our hand, because we've seen, what, 1 Trounce and 1 Test of Strength? So this is our second Trounce that we've seen. Plus, with the equipment we have a gold and we have the shield left for Golden Sun, so I think we're in a pretty good spot right here. As long as their turn's not crazy, earth-shattering stuff. Yo. Okay, then. This is a hand of all time. Let me tell you, nothing's coming across, though. I'm not going to take any damage, but this is a hand of all time. Oh, man, this is a hand of all time. I have never drawn a hand that has 4 Clash cards. I've drawn 3 before. Never drawn 4. This is a new luck. This is a new look here. So, what's the best thing that happens? we get to like IP this for next turn, and then like we rip into a blue and 2 mites. So, or 2 vigors and 2 mites. So we could like draw a card and then go 7 go again into hammer, I guess. Feels like about the only play here. Okay, yeah, sure. So this is for 8. Well, man, let me tell you. Now the real question is here, do we give up 3 blocks or we just block here? I'm kind of thinking we're going to go like this. Which is like one of the craziest hands I've ever had. Okay, the Golden Sun wins us an extra gold. Yes, let's target them because I would like to be able to win the tokens here, and we do. Okay, so the tokens are big. What was on top of our deck? Spinal Crush does not help us very much. So if we draw into the Spinal Crush, what are we doing? Nothing really, right? So we're better off to just throw 7. Well, actually, we can just throw this, right? We can just throw the Golden Sun here. Even with the Test of Strength being our other card, we just get to come in for 12. I mean, 12 overpower is not bad. They block 3 from hand, 4, 5, 6, take 5 exactly. Actually, they're blocking 7. I mean, if they don't have another D-React, I was like, we're able to close it out. Wow. So even though we drew all 4 Clash cards, winning both the Trounces into a Golden Sun actually ended up getting us there with the overpower. What a weird last couple of turns. This might be one of the hottest starts to a Victor game I've had in quite a while. Turn 0, we went visit Goldmane Estate to create an extra gold and 3 mites. Then it was Command and Conquer Pummel for 13 points, getting so much value. Then we were able to turn around and throw Chokeslam for a lot of value. And then we were on the following turn, we were able to go Zealous Belting into Command and Conquer. So we just started out like the first 3 to 4 turns of this game, we were firing on all cylinders. We had great disruption and a lot of damage, really putting us in a good spot early on in this game. Turn 9 is a great example of what I think it looks like when you're supposed to utilize the gold as drawing extra cards. Now, most of the time I'll tell you, don't just be cracking your gold for no reason because you want to save it for mites off Visit Goldmane Estate. You want to save it for Golden Sun. You want to save it for clashes. There's lots of reasons to leave the gold on the board. But I think on turn 9, we were both at such low life totals. And my options were to throw Hammer and then Arsenal of Blue I didn't really want. Or I could start cracking some golds and see what we could find. I ended up only swinging the Hammer anyway, but I was able to Arsenal a Zealous Belting and leave a Trounce in my hand, which I think lines up pretty well because it sets us up to play around Overpower on the following turn. Plus, we have a Go Again card in our arsenal, so it really put us in a pretty decent position on that turn. One note about this game moving forward is that I think I would have gotten more value out of Tectonic Plating over the course of this game as opposed to having Tunic in. Now, I know that having Tunic in allowed me to throw an early Chokeslam and Arsenal a Command and Conquer. It allowed me to throw the Golden Sun to actually win the game there at the end. But I think that the Tectonic Plating would have provided more value off of surges over the game because I actually had multiple turns where there were resources floating and I could have used it to make a surge token and set up for the following turn. Plus that extra block value against overpower decks can really go a long way. So I think that moving forward, I'm going to be looking at tech plating to see how it feels in this matchup. Guys, if you see anything you think I missed, let me know in the comments down below. I'd love to hear about it. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to like and subscribe for more content. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Take it easy, guys.